What would happen if Sasuke Uchiha were to, in this timeline, absorb the curse mark, unlocking his own type of Sage mode, this being based on the Sharingan? But what if in this timeline the Sharingan were to change? It would still have the same abilities of the Sharingan, but he'll just have more, he'll have less limitations. But without further ado, guys, I hope you enjoy this. So, yeah, without further ado, guys, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alright, so we start this what if during the Forest of Death, like the second part of the Chunin exams, where Orochimaru had just bit Sasuke in his neck. Sasuke had felt like excruciating pain as he would feel the mark start to curse through his skin. Obviously, it is a curse mark, so it would feel like a curse. But pretty much what happened is the curse mark would start to course through his veins as he was trying to think of anything at all to pretty much free him from this weird jutsu that Orochimaru has given him. He had tried to possibly maybe take the chakra from the curse mark and kind of transfer it to his own chakra, kind of cleansing it in a sense from Orochimaru's grasp. But something weird would happen. Sasuke's eyes would start to burn as they would go from the usual red Sharingan to the purple. It would change color as another Tomoe would appear in his eyes, as due to the new Sage energy, Sasuke had unlocked Sharingan Sage mode, I guess you would call it. But pretty much Sasuke, like I said, would attain the 3 Tomoe Sharingan, with his Sharingan evolving as he would fall over and pass out. Now, in the time that Sasuke is knocked out, all the way to when Sasuke and Naruto get up to save Sakura, Sasuke will be going through some memories. He had looked at the memories of his, clan dying, of, him having his time with, Itachi and other things like that. But pretty much what would happen is every time he had seen Itachi, especially during the time of the Uchiha clan massacre, he had always tried to kill Itachi. This failing, as whenever he tried to swing at him, Itachi would just disappear into dust. Or anytime, like I said, he would try to stop Itachi from killing his parents, he would stop. But something weird would happen. He had pretty much seen the look that Itachi had before he had killed his parents, as he would see Sasuke, he would see Itachi's eyes of water. Obviously, that means he's crying. And Sasuke was kind of confused, and he was kind of confused at the ability he has. It's sort of like he's looking into the past. Obviously, if you have not watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 2003 version, there's an ability that Leo uses in Season 4. He meditates and he can see what happened in that specific area. Obviously, Sasuke is not near the Uchiha the clan, the main buildings of the clan, or the district, the Uchiha district. But he does have memories engraved in him, which would almost be as if he was in the district itself. So pretty much what would happen is something weird would happen with Sasuke. Constantly seeing Itachi kill his parents, he had realized, and he even went through the whole Uchiha clan district, and he would just somnolently look as he'd realized that he needs to accept what happened, and possibly reform the Uchiha clan from there. So he starts to think, what's the point of killing Itachi? What if I die after I kill Itachi? What's the Uchiha clan from here? There's no other Uchihas. obviously that would be like false, but pretty much what would happen is we'll do a flashback. Now, what would happen is there'll be a few Uchihas who used to live in the Hidden Leaf Village, and with the Uchihas, but something went wrong that caused them to leave. We'll be going over that. So, pretty much what happened is Sasuke would had a childhood friend. Obviously, if you had been on the Bleach wiki, you would see the image of Kyoko Suigetsu's like an art. Basically, that would be like Sasuke's childhood friend. Now, Sasuke and the name, obviously, I had gotten this name from an RP I'm doing in my server, which is quite interesting. But pretty much this person's name would be none other than Yumiko. I know Yumiko, I believe, is the MC of Kakegurui, so I did not get it from there. But pretty much what would happen is I can remember. I'm not doing what if about Naruto. It's about Sasuke. I have to remind myself. So pretty much Sasuke, when he was about 4 years old, and reminder here, I am extending the events of Naruto by 4 years like I do in almost every what if. So the Uchiha clan massacre would take place when Sasuke's 12, and pretty much he would have been in the academy and all. Like, he just would have started going, and this means he would have been a little bit more stronger. Obviously, getting the Tutomo Sharingan earlier, while learning more fire style jutsus and mastering the fireball jutsu. So also he would start to get a gauge on that, knowledge that he has access to lightning affinity. So what would happen is he had been growing up being friends with Yumiko, as he and her had always hanged out with most of the friends from the academy, or not the academy, but a little bit before they joined the academy. They had became friends, or like acquaintances, like just like people that you would just play games with, as kids and all. And these people would be like Shikamaru, Shino, Choji, and Naruto. Now, Sasuke had seen the way people looked at Naruto. Well, he really did not care much about Naruto. Not that he hated Naruto, but he was just, chill about his life and all. He just went about it like a normal person. But what would happen next is one day when Fukaku had announced that he was starting a coup, Yumiko's parents didn't really like that, especially her dad, who had gotten into an argument with Fukaku, which ultimately left him being exiled due to speaking out against it wasn't really a regime, but speaking out against the main ideal of all the Uchiha clan, who had felt exiled and ostracized from the Leaf Village. So pretty much Yumiko's parents and her would leave the village, going to somewhere else in the Fire Village, settling in a small town, just secluded from society itself, as they would just go about their day-to-day life, living peacefully for now. But pretty much what would happen is Sasuke would wake up. He had actually, after the whole Uchiha clan massacre, he had completely forgot about Yumiko and the time he had as a kid, due to the fact that he got put into like a Tsukuyomi for like 3 days. It damaged his mindset. So they had remembered Yumiko, as obviously his Sharingan would activate as he would sense the sound ninja nearby them. He would get up, as this time the whole curse mark would not go around his body, but in general he would gain a purple aura as his Sharingan would be activated, gaining the purple 3-Tomoe Sharingan. He would then walk over to Zaku, as he would then ask Sakura, who hurt you, just out of concern and all, since obviously he had seen Sakura scared, and Naruto obviously not really awake yet, and since Rock Lee was all beaten up and shit. So Sakura would point at Saku, as Sasuke would then put his arm behind his back, as he would start to break his arm at that point, shattering his arm. After this, Sasuke would then grab Saku by his hair, as he would say, "Who hired you? Was it Orochimaru?" As Zaku would not really want to answer Sasuke at first, for Sasuke would then grab him by the throat, as he would then get a kunai from his pouch, as he would say, "You either answer now or you die now. Okay, you can choose." As he would have the plainest look ever. He didn't have like an emotional look. He just looked calm as ever, due to the fact that he had recently let go of his goal. He had picked up another goal. This goal is to become the liberator. Obviously, if you don't know the term liberator or liberation, it means to free someone from their captives. Usually, this term is used for in wars, when one soldier or soldiers would save a country from their captives. It's more of a heroic type term. If you wish, I will also put the definition in the description below. But pretty much what would happen is Zaku would start to cough up information that he was hired by Orochimaru, who was planning on attacking the elite village at the finale of the Chunin exams. After this, Sasuke would say, "Good," as he would then throw Zaku into a tree, as they would hear a crack in his back, as Zaku would then not really be responsive anymore, as he was knocked unconscious. Sasuke would then help Lee and Sakura up, as Sasuke would then be given the scroll by Dosu in order for him to basically get his teammates and get out of there. Now Sasuke doesn't see Naruto get up, but they would keep going. They had both of their scrolls, as they were ready to go into the tower. They would then meet Kabuto, but this time Sasuke really didn't need much help, but they would still accept it. They would still accept it. I can't remember the word. They would still accept it nonetheless. Yeah, that's it. So pretty much what would happen is they would get into the tower, as once they would get in, Naruto and Sasuke, they would open the scrolls at the same time, as Iruka would be summoned, as he would tell Naruto and Sasuke that they passed. They had gotten both the scrolls and they were ready to move on in the Chunin exams. Obviously, I keep saying obviously, like I know you guys know what I'm about to say. So pretty much what would happen is Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura would have about a 5-day time skip. Now in this time skip, Sasuke would recover from the curse mark and him getting this new power, which every night he would go to sleep, he would keep seeing dreams of the same incident he had when he basically went unconscious after Orochimaru put the curse mark on him. But this time, it was one day before the Chunin exams, the second part of the Chunin, actually the third part, which would then be the preliminaries. But Sasuke had been unconscious, as he had been summoned into his mindscape. Now, once he would get there, he would then see this man. He had long, I believe Indra has brown hair, but I may be wrong. I would assume he has black hair, since every Uchiha has black hair, but I can't. I'm trying to get a mental image of Indra, and I assume that I'm gonna let him have black hair. Okay, it seems obvious for every Uchiha to have black hair, even though I think he might have brown. Yeah. I guess I'll put in the comments if he has brown or black hair, even though it really doesn't matter. But he would see this man, as the man would turn around. He had been by a fire, similar to how Kakashi's dad had been the same. Sakamo, I believe his name was. But Indra had offered for Sasuke to sit next to him, as they would be sitting by the fire. This fire would feel much more different, and they would look way different. The fire was black, as obviously we all know flames that are black are Amaterasu. Usually in some animations they have it as purple, but for now it's black. So pretty much Sasuke would say, "Who are you?" As Indra would then say, "I'm Indra Utsutsuki." and the son of the Sage of Six Paths. As Sasuke had remembered hearing this term, the Sage of the Six Paths, as he had remembered a story, there was a man who created ninjutsu for all of the shinobi, and his name was Hagoromo Otsutsuki, aka the Sage of Six Paths. He then looked over to Indra as he would say, "You mean that's Sage of Six Paths? Creator of ninjutsu, and he started all of chakra." As Indra would say, yes, that is Sage of Six Paths. "You want to know why I called you here, Sasuke?" As Sasuke would say, "I don't know. You do look like an Uchiha. I sense some interesting chakra in that fire. It's not like regular fire jutsu. So what is it?" As Indra would say, "You can use this technique whenever you wish. You just need to reach a certain evolution as your brother did in the Sharingan." As Sasuke would get a flashback, he had saw in the way Itachi had looked at him with a certain evolution in his eyes, this being the Mangekyo Sharingan. As Indra would then say, "Yes, it is the Mangekyo Sharingan. I had used to have this eye in his awakening, but obviously I had gained something much better after that. Or not better, but I had awakened something better. This being the sage, this energy you felt after your fight with Orochimaru." As he would say, "This awakened your sage mode of the Uchiha clan. Similar to the toads." Obviously, Sasuke would be like, "The toads? What the fuck is that?" Obviously, he's talking about the summoning, the toads. Indra would say, "Similar to the toads, the Sage of Six Path had training with the toads. So I had to do something similar. I had changed the Sharingan in its DNA when starting the Uchiha clan to have a certain evolution. Once an Uchiha had pretty much let go of the hatred of the Sharingan, and like in a fierce battle, as his ideals would then be persuaded elsewhere, he will gain a certain power. Obviously, you had went through the right circumstances and absorbed the Sage Chakra from Orochimaru's Heavenly Curse Mark, which helped you gain the access to the Sage Mode. But this Sage Mode is so much more than what you think." As Indra would snap his fingers, as there'd be a few figures that would spawn a little bit over the fire or near it. This would be about 4 people. This would be Amaterasu, the fire goddess. Then there'd be Susanoo, the god of valor, obviously in his perfect Susanoo state. Then there would be Tsukuyomi, the goddess of illusions. I actually don't know what she's the god or goddess of in the original mythology, but I may be wrong about that one. And then finally, they would then see Izanami and Izanagi. Even though I did say 4, but usually like Izanami and Izanagi, they're like the yin yang at that point, so might as well consider them as one. As Indra would then explain, you can use powers from these deities. The more access you have to the Sharingan, the more power they lend you. So if you were to become, let's say, allies with these deities, they would maybe even give you more power than the Sharingan can reach, breaking through your limits. As Indra would say, "Look at your eyes now," as he would hand Sasuke a kunai, as he would look at the reflection. For a few seconds, the Rinne Sharingan had formed into his left eye, as obviously his EMS would form, but this time, like I said, difference to the red type Sharingan, it was purple. It had a distinct color to it. It was almost beautiful. Right? There was something about it that really awed him, or put him in awe. Obviously, Indra, I keep saying obvious, I really need to get over this, but Indra would then explain that once, like I said, once the Uchiha had reached that evolution, they will reach power, and your Sharingan, original Sharingan, which had only been powered by your hatred, and your chakra was running through it violently, almost roughly. This time now, the chakra pours and runs through your eyes and your brain and your head, everywhere through your body, almost elegantly. You can almost watch it flow. It's like dancing at that point. as Sasuke would then continue to look at the reflection that he sees in his eyes. As Indra would then say, I'm gonna keep this power sealed. The more you get connected with this realm, the more power I'll let you unlock. You accepting yourself there, accepting that you wouldn't kill your brother, was the first move. Now you must continue your rest, with obviously finding the rest of your friends and hopefully going on your trip of redemption, physical or even spiritual. As Sasuke would then be taken back to the real world as he would wake up in the next morning. Alright boys, that'll be the end of this video. This video is kind of more like an introduction to the story I'm doing. If you guys hear me, I kind of sound confident, but throughout the whole video I'm like, I hope I don't say Naruto. But pretty much, without further ado guys, I'll be posting part 2 of this series once this video gets 5 likes. But without further ado guys, have a good day.